The sound I think is good. I think. Check. Can you hear me here in person? Loud and clear?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was told recently that I mumble.
You're like 2.5 feet away from me.
I know, but I was told recently that I mumble, so I'm self-conscious.
Who told you that you mumble?
Coworkers.
Really?
More than one. They all tell me that they don't understand a word I'm saying.
Do you like these coworkers?
Yeah.
There it is. That solidifies it.
I think out of 8 of them, I enjoy the presence of 6 of them. There's 2 of them. I don't think they'll listen. I think the ones I like will listen.
Oh, I hope they don't. Now, come on, give us some names.
The ones I don't like won't listen. The ones I do like will listen and know who I'm talking about.
The only reason why I asked about the mumbling thing is because I could. I think I might have done that in previous jobs, like when I was working in the corporate world and everything. And if I didn't like you or didn't want to talk to you or anything like that, it's just kind of,
Right.
and then I just, they're like, what?
Yeah. For me, it's more so, I think I've talked about this on previous episodes of this podcast that we haven't released. But I'm very self-conscious about my teeth. My teeth are all fucked up.
You told me that.
Yeah. Ew.
Do you think my teeth are messed up?
Oh, you got nice teeth. Those are solid teeth.
Really?
Yeah.
Because, I think your teeth are better than mine.
It's because you never see a full smile on me.
I'm staring at them right now.
My mouth is mostly closed. You can't see my teeth.
You got one that's on the
My front left tooth
is too small.
It's too small because it's been chipped.
Yeah.
4 times over the course of 15 years. It's been broken, fixed. And then I've got just other teeth that just aren't doing so hot structurally. So
your mouth is like the equivalent of someone like that's got the baby hand.
Yes. Exactly.
I dated a girl for the longest time that had like a hand like that and everything. Yeah.
It's like
she was awesome. I loved her. Still do. She's great.
What was that movie? Scary movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking
nerves.
of. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
I have nightmares about that.
No, man, your tooth ain't that bad.
That's funny.
It's not. It's barely even noticeable.
Well, to me, I'm super self-conscious about it. So, like, it was tough because my full-time job for a while was singing and playing music. And performing in front of people, I never really wanted to have a wide open mouth. So I would actively, the microphone can't see me, but I would turn this way and sing so people could see this side because this is my better side, and avoid
the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where that comes from. But I think just over time, me not actively opening my mouth a lot has kind of made my muscles in my mouth not open or work fully. So when I talk, it kind of sounds like I'm slurring my words or mumbling. But
sorry, I'm staring at your teeth now.
Look at my teeth. Stop.
Man, that right tooth could tear through a carrot.
Left one. You and AJ are like assholes about it. Because I fucking hate it about myself.
I know. I remember you telling me this.
Yeah.
Hell, I don't know. Months ago or weeks ago. I don't know how long ago it was. But I've never thought about it since until you brought it up.
Yeah, that's because it's an active part of my nervous tick. I'm actively trying to not open my mouth fully.
So I know a guy. Won't give any names or anything, but
Jimmy.
Who?
Joey.
Shelby?
I don't know. I'm just naming names.
Oh no. But his teeth, I guess, what I've been told, are really bad, and so when he speaks, he speaks like this. But he has, and I know people at home can't see what I did. I just basically looped put my lips over my teeth, made them look like gums almost. But he's done it for so long that his face has conformed to it, and it's just crazy natural now. And I never ever noticed it or anything like that until somebody brought it up to me, and they're like, well, he is older, but he was like, he speaks like that because he don't want anybody to see his teeth. And so now it's rare to run into him, but when I do, I'm sitting there staring, I'm like, oh, I want to see one.
Next time you see him, he's gonna be like, so I heard you have a podcast.
I hope not.
Talking about my teeth. Just kidding.
Well, we're in Tennessee, so there's a solid,
Was he an Arizona guy?
Huh? Yeah. This was a but if it was Tennessee, like there's a lot of people here that doesn't have like on the scale of teeth, they're probably rank around 2, 3.
Yeah.
You know,
That's fair. Also, there's like a weird it just reminded me of that for some reason, or that just reminded me of this, but there's something in my family where everybody's teeth are just shit, like some structural like calcium problem. I remember my mom complaining that she had like very brittle teeth growing up, and my older sister as well. Yeah, I used to think my sister was just like terrible at taking care of her teeth, but apparently it's something hereditary. So.
Genetics.
Yeah,
so I didn't know for the longest time. I did not know that my dad had false teeth.
Really?
Oh my God! For the longest time, freaked me out the first time I ever noticed because he took the damn things out, and I was like, "What?" I was like, oh, and like in his face instantly, like people that have those, like take them out, their face just kind of, you know.
It's funny you say that because my mom has false teeth. I've always known about it, and she has always actively taken her teeth out just to fuck with people. Like she does it just to bother people. Like all the grandkids, my nephews, my nieces, my kids, my mom. Anytime you're near her, just to be funny, she'll take her teeth out and like chase you with them, and like freak all the kids out. So it's terrible. It was really rough growing up.
Sounds like my kind of woman.
Because it was a lot of that. It was like if I didn't do what I was told, my mom would take her nasty teeth out and chase me around with her.
What?
Right.
Wait, hold on. She used it as a disciplinary measure?
Well, it's funny because that and are you familiar with kimchi?
Oh yeah, the cabbage Koreans.
Do you like it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
It's the worst thing in the world to me.
Yeah.
And my father used to make his own, and I hated the smell of it. I would gag on impact. Miserable. I'm like getting worked up just thinking about it. But if I didn't wake up to go to school in the morning, he would go get the kimchi, open the jar, and wave it in front of my face to wake me up.
Really?
Yep. He also had his ears like gauged, like like he gets the plugs to stretch them out, make them bigger.
Your dad did?
Yeah, my dad did. And the fluid that's built up in there is the worst smelling thing in the world. So if I didn't wake up for school, he would take his gauges out and wave them in front of my nose to wake me up. Dude, it was a fucked up childhood.
How old was your dad?
When he died?
Yeah.
54.
And he had gauged ears.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
My dad was super hippie. Like, my dad was barefoot 90% of the time in public.
That is not what I've pictured in my head. And when you've talked to me about your dad,
yeah, he was.
I was picturing it like a button-down, hair combed over to the side. Because didn't you say he was like a big historian kind of guy?
Yes, but he worked.
So that's where I got that image from.
That makes sense. Yeah, he worked at a place like I don't know how to describe it because there's nothing down here like it that I know of. But it was a interactive museum, so everybody dressed up. All the employees were dressed like that period in time. All the houses, like there was farms, there was like mills, there was blacksmiths, leather workers, shoemakers, and it was this interactive village where people would go and learn about those times. My father was one of the characters in the play, essentially. But it's a museum, so it's an all day, every day open place. So that's what he did. But yeah, he had to cover up a lot of stuff. He used to have to wear skin colored bandages over his ears. He had to cover up his tattoos.
How many tattoos? Like you?
Not like me, no. He had like old school, like biker looking
prison
tattoos.
Tats.
Yeah, stuff like that. Maybe 6 or 7 total. I counted the other day. I have 43 tattoos.
Really? I would have said more.
Really?
Yeah.
It's all it's a bunch of nonsense.
It is. Like when I see your tattoos, I was thinking about this the other day, and this is not to be a jerk or anything, but like I was at the grocery store and I was going by the section where it has like the birthday cards and Hallmark cards and all that shit.
Yeah.
And as I'm going through, I see like this little sheet of stickers, and they're just all random and crazy and everything. And when I saw it, instantly made me think of you. I was like, "That's Bobby." I was like, he took that into the tattoo artist. Is like, I want this.
Close. Actually, so it's funny. I got a handful of tattoos before I was old enough to legally do so.
Really?
Yeah.
And how old was that in Massachusetts?
18.
Okay. And how old were you when you got your first?
16.
Did mom have to sign off on it, or you lie?
Nope, just a family friend did it in the kitchen.
Okay.
Probably the worst, most dangerous way to do it. Anybody I know who has a friend who does tattoos, that doesn't work in a professional environment, I highly suggest against it.
Why is it dangerous? Because of like
Just
bacteria,
sanitary. It's just like the dirty.
What's the worst that can happen?
Staph infection. Tattoos look like shit, because they'll scab or they'll heal improperly. Sometimes you can get AIDS. You don't know where that guy's been tattooing before. Shit like that. You don't know if he's reusing needles, if he's properly cleaning needles, stuff like that. It was a family friend, so there was a level of trust. Also, looking back now, I don't know anything about that guy. He was the uncle of an ex-girlfriend's friend.
Sounds legit.
Yeah.
I would totally trust him with my 16-year-old
Absolutely.
son.
Well,
Here, y'all go frolic somewhere.
He tattooed my mom as well, so I was like, oh, yeah.
She chased him around with the false teeth until he did it. Give my son a tattoo.
Oh, my God.
Did she, like say if you got a bad grade or you wouldn't go to bed at night and everything, she'd just yank out the teeth and she's like...
No, it was never like...
Mrs. Chompers is going to get you.
There was very little discipline in my house.
Yeah.
It was the wild, wild west, free roam.
Yeah.
Luckily, I wasn't a bad kid, so I wasn't doing drugs or drinking early on and giving my mom trouble that way. That was some other siblings.
Just getting tattoos with random dudes.
Well, that was under her approval. Actually, she was hammered. She got one, and then she got hammered at the house, and then she called me, and she's like, hey, this guy's giving tattoos.
This story is getting better and better and better.
But what's funny is when I turned old enough to get legally tattooed.
Is that the night that you lost your virginity?
No, sir. No, sir. Jerk. Oh, man. When I turned 18, I literally, between the ages of 18 and 19, I went on a spree and just got as many tattoos as I could in that time frame. A lot of them, which is why there's so much randomness going on, was because I would kind of talk my friends into paying them so long as they got to pick the tattoo. It was kind of like a, let's see if Bobby will get this stupid fucking tattoo, and we'll pay for it if he does, So that's how I got Mario. That's how I got...
Spider-Man, Yoshi.
Spider-Man was my decision, just because that's my shit. But yeah, Yoshi, all the others, this silly lion. Man, I got stories for days about these tattoos.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really do like your tattoos.
Thanks, buddy.
When I first met you, I was like, God dang! I was like, could the dude get more random? But now that I know you, I'm like, that's Bobby. I was like, that's just Bobby. I was like, and they're great.
Yeah, thank you.
And like I said, I always find one that I haven't seen.
Yeah, I got a couple in there. There's a couple hide. I need to get another one soon.
Are you gonna get another one?
Yeah, there's been talks of getting the knuckles done for a while, so I'm debating.
What are you gonna put on the knuckles?
Home soon. Home soon.
Why home soon? You couldn't have anything more hard.
Cause it gets real hippie and spiritual. But stop it. Go lay down. Go lay down. What the fuck is wrong with you? Go lay down.
So Bobby's talking to his dog.
Talking
if you guys
to my
want to
dog.
know.
Yeah, she's a little worked up. She likes having guests over,
and
she likes attention. So
yeah, and I gave her some French fries.
yeah, her favorite.
So now she's just
as you can tell, she's
wired.
She's a little plump. It's because she likes French fries. What was I saying? Oh, it gets spiritual. Home soon. It's kind of like my hipster way of like when I think about death and I think about what comes afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I think of essentially us going home and then being reassigned a next life, essentially. So I think of when we die, we go home, wherever that is.
Where is home for you? Is it heaven?
No, it's just I think of it in a very like comic booky, magical way. In my head, I don't actually know, and I will happily say that. But in my head, it's fun to think like it's just like a cosmic.
Is it like Cloud World and the Lego Movie?
No, it's like it's actually a fantastic video that I would suggest you or anybody listening to go watch. That actually is probably the closest way I think about life. It's called The Egg on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's just like a quick little 8-minute video that just like paints a picture about the afterlife. But I think very much like that we all go home briefly, but then we get reassigned another life.
So reincarnation.
Yeah,
essentially.
But more so, I don't know. I can go on for days about it. Watch the video. We'll talk about it next week.
Is this something that you think was that you picked up, like, say, living in the North, living into the home that you lived in, and how you were raised? Was this something that was, I don't want to say imposed because that's super strong, but you know, like, it was the belief of others in your home or family members?
My mother and father were, I don't want to say pretend, I think Catholic, I think. Mm-hmm. I say pretend because they were those, like, go to church for 4 weeks in a row and then don't go again for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And then, like, shit starts going south and they're like, maybe we should bring religion back into the life. And then they'll go back to church for 4 months and then not go again. Mm-hmm. They were those kind of people. So, but I'm pretty sure it was Catholic. I remember going to church just on Christmases and New Year's for, like, midnight mass and stuff. But religion wasn't imposed on me. I didn't think my sister was kind of my older sister, second oldest sister, she was very rebellious. Mm-hmm. And she was just, like, from age 13 very independently, like, stating that she was a what's the word, somebody who doesn't believe in God,
agnostic, or atheist.
She didn't believe in God. That's fucking stupid. Blah blah.
Well, atheist, I don't think believes in any religion. Period.
Right. And then agnostic
doesn't
know, believes that there might be something, but yeah. But she was very confidently at age 13 an atheist. Mm-hmm. And then, like, in my head, that was, like, she was the sibling I looked up to, even though she was the one with, like, you know, the problems. But I followed in her footsteps thinking wise. And then eventually I started just, like, thinking about life and, like, you know, like, life is too complex for it to be. You know, mm-hmm. I don't understand life. It's too weird. There's got to be something else going on.
I agree. There's got to be something, like, and I get that. You know, I've seen that. Hell, I've probably been there myself where, you know, where things started going south and, you know, you're looking for a reason why or help or a way out. So, you know, I totally get that. Like, but it's funny you bring up midnight mass. When I was, like, how old was I? 19, 20 years old. I was living in Chattanooga and I was driving down to Cleveland to meet my mom. I was supposed to meet her for midnight mass and ended up behind a bowling alley in a car with, I guess you call her my girlfriend. But we missed midnight mass.
There you go.
And then I felt kind of bad, you know, for that. But
did you get in trouble?
Dude, I wasn't living at home.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, she wasn't thrilled, but I didn't tell her what I was doing.
Right.
You know.
Fair enough. Sure hope not.
Only Jesus knows.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness gracious.
But, like, real quick, how you're talking, and the reason why I was asking you initially is if this is something that you picked up, you know, with how you were raised. Because when I was growing up, my mom's side of the family was Catholic. And they believed in God, and they just wanted to go to church and stuff like that. And that's pretty much where they left it off, you know. Yeah. My dad's side of the family was like this Southern Baptist, you know, hellstone and hellfire, brimstone, and you know, when you go to heaven, you know, it's golden streets with, you know, milk and honey and all that. Right. So I could never, even as a child, when they were telling me this, it didn't set right in my head because I was like, what? You know, milk and honey, you know, and these golden streets, and they would just, you know, and they were the type that would, you know, speak in tongues. Now, my dad was not like that at all. My dad, I've never seen my dad go to church ever, you know. Right. But, like, the rest of his family, you know, they would just run up and down the aisles, and I hated it. I did not want to go to church with them, and I loved them to death. But, you know, even to this day, I had somebody take me to kind of a church like that, say, like 4 or 5 years ago. Yep. And I just remember that feeling coming over me of just, like, it was like trying to put a cat in a bathtub. I wanted out of there. Oh, crazy thing, man. When it started and everything, this dude gets up, walks in the back of the church, closes the doors, and locks them. And I was like, what? You know, like...
your most recent trip?
Yeah. I was like, shit just got real, you know? So I was just sitting here looking around, my head's on a swivel, and I'm just like, what is going on? But it was kind of like that, like... you know, the shouting, the speaking in tongues and all that. I don't get down with that. Yeah. And there's nothing against anybody who does. Just for me, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I mean, honestly, church was just a weird experience for me growing up, and I honestly feel like the experience of going to church for me is what turned me off to it because I didn't understand the correlation, and I hadn't read the Bible at that point. All I knew was that we were going to church, excuse me, to worship God, and there's a guy up top wearing robes, and we're all singing. And I have to go up and put this.
And it's that monotone.
It's monotone forever and ever.
Oh, I grew up Catholic. I mean, I didn't enjoy going to church, but I'd much rather go with my mom than go with any of my dad's family.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and then like eating the body of Christ and that stuff. It just.
Did they give you actual wine up in?
Yes.
They really.
Yeah, real wine. Yeah.
We got actual wine. It wasn't for long, and then they switched it over to grape juice, and I was like,
Shit, that's cheap.
Yeah,
that's funny. But then also, I mean, I don't know if this is like a nationwide thing or just a worldwide thing rather, but there was a big sting of Catholic priests, pedophiles.
Yeah, that was like worldwide.
Was it? Okay.
Oh,
it
Lord.
was happening like all over my city, like left and right.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
I didn't. I thought it was, for some reason, I just thought it was like these freaking weirdos in Massachusetts.
No, that was worldwide. Like, who was it? I'm sure somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but was it Pope Benedict or one of those that, what he would do instead of, I guess, disciplining them or turning them into authorities or anything like that, he would just shuffle the priests around. And that's the story. I don't know, but that's he would shuffle the priests. So like, he took one priest out of one country, put him in another country, and I guess put him into a facility or a home where it was like deaf kids or kids that couldn't speak or anything, and the atrocities that he committed there was just crazy. And you sit there and think like that's that kind of stuff that's turned me off from religion. Like growing up, seeing people, I was told all the time I was going to hell, and I could never figure out why. It's like, I'm just I thought I was just a normal kid, like there was things that made me laugh and everything, but like, kids that were super religious or even their parents, oh, you can't do that, you're going to hell. Oh, you can't do that, you're going to hell. And that just really turned me off from religion. Now, with that said, I've always believed. Yeah. I till this day, I still do. I don't know what, how do I put this? I remember when I was in high school, this preacher, he was talking to me about the Bible and asked me if I read it. And like every kid in my high school, it seemed like they read it because they talked about it, or at least they say they did. And I admitted, I was like, no, I don't. Right. And I've definitely turned some heads, like when they're like, what's your favorite kind of music? And I tell them, they're like, what's your least favorite? And I'm like, Christian. I mean, seriously, to this day, I know you love it, but I
love it from a songwriting perspective, though.
Now there's a few Elvis and Johnny Cash, songs like that are just amazing. Yeah. But anyway, I got diverted. He told me, he was like, the Bible, and this is how I always felt, but no one ever told me this. Like the people growing up, especially like the adults, it was like the Bible was written by Jesus himself, with his hand. Right. And that's how it was written. And I was like, that can't be right. Yeah. And then talking to this, preacher when I was in high school, and he was my buddy's dad. And, we weren't having some philosophical religious talk or anything like that. We were just, I don't know how it came up. We were talking. He was like, the Bible is just a collection of dreams, songs, thoughts, stories written by different men. And that stuck with me because I was like, you're the only adult to ever say that to me, it really sank, because I think if that, I would be more religious if someone would have presented it that way. Right. Because we as man, we have our flaws, and I don't know. I can't say that everything in the Bible is just like 100% true, because you see some of you're like, what? Or you read some of you like, or hear the stories, but I think it's got a good message. I think it's got a great message.
Right. I think morally the Bible's a decent compass,
It's a great compass.
Yeah.
Don't kill your neighbor.
Right. Stuff like that. But then you think of like some of the, I mean, they do kind of sound fairy tale-ish, they sound,
Splitting the ocean or
Right.
the Red Sea.
Right.
And
But then also you think of, it's funny, I have this whole, it's not a theory, it's more so like I think about history, and I think about us finding stuff, right? Finding stuff from the past. And then us thinking like, oh my gosh, this must have been how they lived. Or we find like a statue of a creature, and we think, oh my God, what kind of animal is this? They must have had this animal back in the past. But then I think about all the artwork and the structures, and I think about everything that humans are creating today. And some of it just being like entertainment, like, art structures for one, I keep coming back to, because I keep thinking like, what if some of the stuff we found back in the day that like is tied to religious was just like somebody's art project. And now we're like, holy crap, this is how everybody has to live because this guy said so.
Yeah.
But in reality, it was somebody who was just like compiling a book of everybody in his town's nice stories. Like he's got a story, But then I also think about psychedelics and their role in history like that, and how maybe those stories weren't fairy tales, but they were more so somebody describing a psychedelic trip, like like the burning bush. Like what if he was standing next to a burning bush?
Well, the burning bush is supposed to be by that plant
Right.
that does cause,
Hallucinate. Yeah.
cause you hallucinate.
Yeah. So who knows?
Where did we get off on this topic at?
My tattoo.
Your wow.
Yeah.
Look
Home
what
soon.
your tattoos are
There you go.
inspiring.
So yeah, home soon, meaning
You're a Christian now.
No, not really, not quite. Home soon, meaning I'm going to die soon, and then everything will be good.
Yeah.
It's also kind of a dark way to look at it. I've also been very depressed in my life, so I think about things from both sides of the coin. So,
Like, I like for you, I wish you'd put something on there like a little bit more hard.
yeah,
Yeah. Like,
like
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
fuck you. No.
Well, what are you going to put 2 U's on the end of it? Y-O-U-U?
Exclamation point.
Oh, exclamation point. There you go. I like the Y-O-U-U.
You should get a tattoo. You have any tattoos?
I have none.
No tattoos
Zero.
at all?
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I'm so thankful I haven't, because I was hell-bent on getting a tattoo when I was 18. And now that I think about it, I'm like, that would be the dumbest damn tattoo. So then when I was around 30, I was like, okay, I got it. I'm going to get this tattoo. And now I think about it, I'm like, oh, my God, it's another stupid tattoo, And honestly, I do want to get one day for the experience. Not so I can go around showing it off, because it could be somewhere where nobody could see it.
Right.
But just the feeling, and I've heard so many people talk about it, like I've had it described to me as like the worst thing ever and the most pain. And then I've had people, they're like, that's my therapy, like it feels so good. And,
Right.
they just get off on that. So I guess I want to feel it for that and see, but
It's different for everybody. It's different for every spot too. So, like ribs are terrible. The top of your foot is really bad too. Anything near a bone sucks. Other than that,
how about the small of your back?
I wouldn't know.
Man, I was hoping you'd answer that.
Just kidding. I do. Yeah, whatever. I have a tramp stamp. It's all right. It wasn't too bad. The guy who did it, I think, was on drugs at the time. So that's that.
Yeah.
It was a little more uncomfortable than I think it had to be, but yeah.
Why is that?
Just because I felt like he was on drugs.
Oh,
He was just like all over the place and kept hitting my spine.
I didn't know if he was like sitting on your ass or anything
On
like
my
that
ass.
while he was doing it.
No, but I had to. For some reason, it had getting a tattoo on my lower back, like put pressure on my bladder.
Yeah.
So that was weird. And then I got tattoos on my stomach, so that also was weird for the bladder. But
Yeah, like as much as I've got to go to the bathroom, like I don't know, like it'd have to be a very small tattoo.
yeah. Fun. Stick to the arm. Get something on your bicep. That'll be manly there. Have white belt will travel.
There you go. Or
look at
like maybe a little definition if they could put some shading in there. Make my bicep more than what it is.
Just hit the gym, bro.
I have been hitting the gym.
Speaking of the gym, what time is it? 4:20. Oh, we got plenty of time. Yeah, dude. So what you got going on?
How's
life?
Life is very interesting. As you know, I just got back from the second annual Chewy camp.
Oh, that's right.
It was a great experience. You know, like it was like going through a meat grinder. There was so many people there, and you know, all belt levels and everything. I say all belt levels. It felt like there was a lot more higher belts there this time. And you know, rolling with them was just, man, it was crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and there was a lot of guys my size or bigger.
Oh, there you go.
And so I didn't enjoy that.
That's good. How are these guys compared to the militia guys?
They're good.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a few that were showcasing their wrestling.
Okay.
But once you got them on the ground, like they were crazy technical. I mean, crazy technical. Like you could tell they do this a lot. And not saying the militia guys aren't, because militia guys are awesome and everything. It was different. I don't know how to explain how different. Sometimes I think, and maybe this is just my own perspective, way I do it at militia, which I hate. I wish I didn't roll this way, but like I'm kind of aggressive, I guess, to a point until I gas out.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like smash pass, or at least try to, stuff like that. Where these guys, you know, they were using actual technique. Now, you get with the higher belts at militia, you know, like a Matt or a Tom or, you know, anybody like that, then yeah, they use their technique and own strength when they have to. But it was a super cool experience. It was great seeing Chewy again. I couldn't believe it. Like
who is Chewy for people who don't know?
Chewy is big on. That's how I found him, was on YouTube, and I was just first getting into jiu-jitsu, so I wanted to, you know, watch some technique and try to learn as much as I could. And I came across his videos and ended up, you know, to this day still watch them. But his YouTube channel is called Chew-Jitsu. Yeah, and his name is Nick Albin.
Yeah.
But everybody calls him Chewy. I think even his wife calls him Chewy.
Yeah.
You know, everybody does. And he is the reason, honest to God, he's the reason why I'm at militia. Because when I went to his camp last year, I was like, I want something like this.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I want. Because, you know, like the camaraderie, all the people, it's not like so formal or anything like that. They played music while you roll and stuff like that. And, you know, I kept seeing the militia commercial come across Facebook, and as soon as I got back from the camp, I was like, yep, I was like, that, I'm trying it.
There you go.
And so, you know, I attribute him for that, you know, for getting me into militia.
The rest is history.
And well, like when I first went to the Chewy camp last year, I remember, like, I didn't worry about it the whole drive up there. Didn't really think about it. I listened to a lot of Cleared Hot, Andy Stump's podcast.
Yep.
I was trying to catch up and everything, so my mind was just kind of focused on that. And then I get into Kentucky, get to my hotel, drop everything off, and I'm heading to the gym. And it was when I pulled up to the gym, like boom, it came down. It's like, what the hell are you doing? You're about to walk into this gym. And I had no idea. I didn't know who was going to be in there, what it was going to look like, anything like that. The only thing I really knew was, or my own experience with the gym, my previous gym that I was going to back home, you know, it was very formal, very quiet, very structured, you know. And then I walk into this place and, you know, people are talking and laughing and, you know, and I just see all these people. I mean, good night. There had to be 50 at least. And I'm just like, what have I got myself into? And then, you know, he started talking to us all. He got all the campers, because he also had people from his gym come in, but he got all the campers, got them together, answered questions, talked to them. And in my mind, I was thinking, I was like, oh man, is this guy going to be a jerk? Is he going to be, you know, is he actually like he is on YouTube, or is he just going to be, you know, very full of himself? The dude is exactly like he is on YouTube. 100%. And that, that really set me at ease. I was like, oh, this is cool because he's like one of my bros.
Yeah.
And I say all that because like when I got to Militia, there was part of me, I was just kind of like, is Tom going to be cool? I remember watching them on Redemption and everything. I was like, is he going to be cool, or is he going to be like, this tough guy or something like that? And then, right when I meet him, I was like, oh shit. I was like, this dude's crazy cool, like he's great.
That's awesome.
We
had another experience like that with Cody from Southeast Softwash.
Yeah.
That
dude's funny.
Super fun. I can't stop thinking about it. And like now it's funny because we've only had one experience with him, and like I feel like I know him.
Yeah.
Just because I get his sense of humor, and now I watch his videos that he's made after our training, and I'm just like, oh, Cody. Like classic Cody.
Classic Cody. Oh, that's my bra.
I'm like such a loser. I'm like,
he is a funny. He is a very funny guy. Like if he would actually do a podcast the way he teaches class, because his videos and the way he teaches class are just, they're different, you know.
Oh, for sure.
And he is hilarious.
Definitely.
It was funny. Like at the Chewy camp this time, like it surprised me because he called my name when he saw me. He's like, Steve, what's up? And I was thinking, oh my God, he remembered my name. And then he was talking to everybody and he knew everybody's name. Right. I was like, just little things like that. I was like, that's so impressive. That's cool. Really cool, man. He knew, he didn't have to ask anybody their name. He knew them all. I don't know. Like it was super cool. And then, a little side note, going to New Albany, Indiana, because it's only like 15 minutes away from the gym. The gym's in Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah. There was a bar there that it was like a bar restaurant. I wish we had something like that here. It was amazing. And when I was talking to Chewy, he knows the guy who started it all. What happened was the guy started working at a bar, and he had he was acquiring all these video games from like the 90s, like the what do you call them,
just the arcade games?
Yeah, the arcade games and stuff like that. So he just started acquiring them, putting them in storage and stuff like that, picking them up dirt cheap.
That's cool.
And he knew this guy that had a bar, and he started kind of working for him. And he was like, hey, let me, we can put some of my games in here and make some money. Yeah. And they started doing that. And I don't know what happened after that, but the guy, they split their partnership and everything, I guess, or he quit working for him. I don't know what it was, but he started his own bar, and he took all of his games, and it's called Rec Bar. Yeah. And oh my gosh, cool. It was, to me, I was like, screw Dave and Buster's. I was like, this is it. Because as soon as you walk in, like, it was like murals everywhere. Like they had like this one of Stranger Things. They had this one of Back to the Future. It was just so cool. They had Alf, and then they had like all these original 90s posters everywhere. Nice. And then the games, there was 2 floors, and all of them were those 90s, like the games I grew up with. I was like, it was a 90s kid dream. It was amazing. Cool.
There's a place like that in Boston that my wife and I went to 2 years after a comedy show. Mm-hmm. I love those places. Just get hammered and just play arcade games all night.
Like, I had the kids with me, so I didn't.
I can't get hammered.
Yeah. And
shouldn't get hammered. Not that you can't get hammered. You just shouldn't get hammered.
You shouldn't. No. I had camp after that too. But
That's fair. Discipline, Steve. Look at you.
I know.
Come a long way.
Least. I've come a long way.
You've been as disciplined as you are now for as long as I've known you. So
the what was super cool was like, say when I'm at home and I'm playing video games with my kids, like they love it. They think it's absolutely hilarious. They'll get me to play Smash Brothers with them, and then they'll just beat my ass. I mean, and then they laugh at it. This, blah, blah. We got to that bar, and it was games that I grew up playing. Mm-hmm. I was like, it's
their ass.
On. I was like, I made one cry, and I made one not talk to me. And I mean, I was not taking it easy. I was just wrecking.
Oh, God. That's funny. Good stuff.
It was good
That's
stuff.
How you got to teach them. Yeah. That's how you teach them.
This old man's got a few tricks up his sleeve.
Absolutely. I like it. You're not that old.
Speaking of, I don't know why this popped in my head. the hotel that we stayed at for the camp, there was a lot of the campers were from out of town were staying at the same hotel because it was the closest one to the gym. So, and a lot of them were on our floor. We were on the second floor. And so the kids kind of saw this and everything. And because, you know, they'd see him at camp and then we'd be back at the hotel and they'd see him. And we're like, oh, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. So we are, I can't remember what day it was. Maybe it was Saturday or Sunday. We are leaving to go to the gym. And as we're walking down the hallway, anytime the door was about to open, because all the campers were really close to us, we just kind of, you know, look over, hey, how are you doing? This, that, there thing. So this door opens, and I guess Jason and myself thought that it was, you know, one of the campers or anything. So as soon as the door opens, there was this lady, at least 3 bills, and the string of profanities that came out of her mouth because it was her husband that opened the door. Yeah. And she was like, what the F are you doing? She was like, you stupid mother. She was like, shut the effing door. And Jason and I were just like, frozen there for a second. Then I'm like, oh, come on. And she is stark buck naked. And she is cussing him. And he was like an older guy that was just kind of fed up with it. And he opened the door to get something that was on the outside. Like, they left something for him out there. Mm-hmm. So he was just like, I'm getting this first, you know, closing the door right away was just not on his list of priorities. So funny. And she was, she was hot.
Nice.
I mean, livid.
Not attractive.
Not attractive.
I don't know. And Jace got to see?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, we both thought it was going to be like...
What an experience for the boy.
Oh, he starts laughing. And I'm like, dude, come on. Like, let's get to the library or to the elevator. This is super awkward.
That's so funny. Poor kid. Oh, shit. Cool, man. So,
what do you got going on? Anything new?
Nothing really. Just finished up a new ad for Militia. That'll be dropping soon.
Dude, your ads are freaking awesome.
Thanks, man.
Anybody listening, definitely check out the Militia ads. Those were made by Bobby, and especially this last one that he did. It is just, it's awesome.
Wow. Thank you. I wish I had professional equipment because I feel like I could...
You'd be lethal.
I feel like I'd be lethal.
You would.
Right now, I'm doing everything with a phone,
and
a
it
GoPro,
looks great with a phone and GoPro.
Thank you. So yeah, did that. That's life, man. We're just trying to get this pressure washing thing off the ground.
Is this is it 4 weeks now that you've been back at the gym?
Just about, yeah. I skipped yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Monday I recorded. Tonight's my first week of my first night back in a couple days. But yeah, that's on week 4.
And how many pounds have you lost?
10.
10?
Yeah, I've been hovering around the 10 mark. But I think that's just due to not going yesterday and the day before. But
yeah, you're looking good, man.
Thanks, dude.
It's cool because, you know, Tom brings you out there to hold the pads for him and everything when he's doing instruction. So, you know, that's good.
That's nice.
You look good when you're out there, you know, like, you know, not too much rust on there or anything.
No, I don't. I mean, I feel like my I don't think I have great technique, but like, I feel like if I have anything, it's a little bit of technique. And I feel like it didn't go anywhere with the time off, you know. Only thing that I really lost was the cardio.
Now, this is all coming from someone that's super inexperienced and terrible, I guess. I would say my striking.
I would say you're terrible.
Yeah, I would like. I really enjoy it. You know, I'm that guy who's enthusiastic about it. But
I think you've got solid boxing for sure. Your kicks are a little questionable. I always know to expect a range. Should I block here?
Tell everybody here? I will kick your damn ankle off. Mm-hmm. But anything above the ankle,
you can't really get up there.
Yeah,
that's fair. Kicks are tough.
And my jiu-jitsu is crap, but
it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm not saying that in a bad way.
That's what matters, though. You know, that's where the joy comes from. That's where the drive comes from, is actually having fun and learning something and seeing yourself grow, whether you think you're growing or not, you know. But
I have this thing where I just want it to. Hopefully, I'm going to go in one day and it kind of clicks. That happens every now and then, but not all the time.
I feel like the last time I sparred, something clicked, and I've sparred. I mean, my 1 year at the gym, being associated with the gym, not necessarily consistent 1 year of exercise, but being associated with them is next week. And
when's your 1 year?
Next week.
Really? I thought you started like before the summer. You started at the end of the summer?
I started right at the beginning of September.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, man. So you were there just like a month before me.
Oh, yeah.
October's my year.
Yeah.
I literally thought you were there,
Oh, no. I just inserted myself into Tom's life very quickly. I made it seem like I was a veteran.
Right.
Yeah. For some reason, everybody new at the gym clings to me.
Yeah.
And it's hey, let's ask Bobby questions because Bobby looks like he works here.
Yeah.
I don't work here.
Hey, you kind of did at one point.
I did.
You still kind of do.
Yeah. But there's that new kid at the gym who I gave him my gloves the other day because he had MMA gloves.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get them off fast enough because they were super tight. Couldn't get them off to get the mitts on fast enough to switch roles with your partner. And I was like, "Do you have boxing gloves?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "All right, I got you." So I gave him some boxing gloves. But I told him I was going to bring them on Saturday for sparring, and he was really banking on it. He was relying on me to bring those gloves, and I forgot them. So
Classic Bobby.
I know. I show up to sparring, and he's standing there, and he's like, "Bobby, what the fuck? Where are my gloves?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I'm so sorry." I was like, "Here, man, I got some gloves for you." And I just walk him over to the used bin at the gym, and he's like, "I don't want to use these stinky things."
Oh my God, they're the worst. You open the
so
top to that bin, and you can almost see the odor, with your eyes, as it just comes, wafts.
You know,
out of
on a hot
there.
day, if you lay down, look at the road,
Yeah.
and you see the
the heat trails, or the vapors or whatever. That's what it's kind of like.
I remember I tried to wipe them down once, and Tom's like, "Don't even worry about it."
Tom told me the same
He's
thing.
Don't even worry about it.
I forgot my gloves one time, so I had to go in the bin and get a pair. And I think I was paired up with Jared, and both of us were just I could smell them as I was striking.
Yeah.
And Jared's holding the pads for me, and he could smell them, and it was just miserable.
Miserable. I had to use them for sparring once, and my hands smelled like them for 3 hours afterwards, even after a shower. I couldn't get rid of the smell. But
I guess it's a good, way of getting people to go out and buy gloves.
For sure. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. With that being said, I think we made some time. What time did we get started? We're a little over an hour.
Somewhere around there. It was a short one.
Just about. How long you want to keep these things consistently? I mean, we should probably say, are we going to edit anything, or are we just going to keep it even this little jib jab in between? I think it's fun.
I would say keep them about an hour, unless we just get on to something that, where it just goes longer naturally.
Right. Some of them are going to naturally go longer.
Yeah.
Some of them, hopefully with guests in the future.
I would definitely edit.
Yeah.
Or I say definitely edit. You know more about that than I do, but there are certain things, that, just clean it up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. But
and then if we have a guest or whatnot, hopefully one day.
Hopefully. I think it's possible. I mean, you've said it a million times. I know I slack on it, but consistency is key with this podcast. And I feel like once we have, obviously you've seen what I can do once there's artwork.
Yes.
And logos, and I can get all that shit done. As soon as we have something like that made up for this podcast, I want to bring it to the next level. So.
Yeah. It was funny that you asked me to come up with a logo, because I'm the least artistic person.
That's fair.
But I've been asking a couple of people that I know. I'm like, hey, I need help.
I reached out to an old friend from high school, and she's gonna mock something up for us. And then also my wife does graphic design, and we're getting her some new equipment tomorrow.
Nice.
And then she wants to start working on she's actually offended that I asked this old high school friend to make it before I gave her the chance to make it.
I'm Shelby, where's our damn pressure washing shirts?
Where are our fucking t-shirts? Actually, the blank t-shirts are in my drawer.
I love you, Shelby. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I think I remember the last time we talked about that, we had a disagreement because I had told her I needed 2 colors, and she said it would be easier with 1 color, and since it's white, we can just get rid of it was a whole argument. And then she's just like, just do it yourself.
Well, I don't understand. Like, if it's a blue shirt, why not just have all white writing? One color.
That's accurate. It's just the logo that I envisioned on the back had the black trim as well. So I'm like, in order for that to stand out, it should have the black. But then she showed me the opposite. She was right in the end, but now she's too upset with me to continue the project. So.
Thanks, Bobby.
Maybe you can talk her into it.
I doubt that.
Like, hey, I need to get these shirts done.
But yeah, man, I like to, maybe like around the hour mark.
I think that's the sweet spot. Tom found that we were having more success when the episodes were an hour to an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had those handful of episodes that ventured into 3 hours. And it's like the views were still there, but like you can tell people weren't staying as engaged. You could see like the analytics on YouTube that people would stop like halfway through for whatever reason. So yeah, probably an hour.
I would, even if it was under the hour, I'd like to end on a high note. I know we're kind of rambling right now, so I don't know if this will actually make the podcast or not. But, end on, a high note. Because some of my favorite podcasts do that. It leaves me, when I'm listening to them, I want more. And I wish they'd gone longer. Yeah. But now that I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's really smart.
I kind of like what we're doing right now, like talking. It's kind of like we're breaking the fourth wall. It's like we're having a conversation about this podcast, but the people listening is essentially what I'm getting at. But I like this banter where we're also trying to figure this podcast out at the same time, because we're new to this.
I know what you got to have on your knuckles now.
What's that?
Deadpool.
You're
talking about breaking the fourth wall.
I like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Marvel heroes that break the fourth wall, they just dropped She-Hulk on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Everybody thought it was going to suck. They're on episode 2. So far, it's fantastic. And she is the other Marvel character besides Deadpool that breaks the fourth wall.
Really?
There's only 2 Marvel characters that do it, and it's her and Deadpool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
I knew Deadpool.
In the comics, they're the only 2 that do it.
Oh, really?
And then they both do it in there.
Yeah, I was going to check it out. Like, I don't know what this says about me, but like there was a scene, like it just, I haven't watched the show. It was just on the commercial, but like she's carrying the guy to the bedroom.
Yeah.
I was just like, I wish that was me.
I wish that was me too. It's like a giant Amazonian
Yeah,
woman.
I was like, oh my God, she's carrying him like a baby,
Yeah. I haven't gotten to that part yet. I think that's in this next episode.
Spoiler alert. Sorry. I just saw it on a commercial.
It's all right. Yeah, it's in the commercial. It's like one of the drawing. But everybody was mad because in the commercials, the CGI looked like crap. And everybody was bitching about it, but they cleaned it up considerably.
I'd like to see that because that's one thing I saw in the commercials. Yeah. It just was, I don't know.
Yeah.
Her face. I mean, and she's a beautiful
and it's funny
woman.
because because they have the Hulk in the show, and they have so much footage of him being the Hulk over the past 12 years now, that they made his character look better than her in her show.
I saw that. That's one thing I thought about when they put the teaser out.
And I was like, why is that? And it's because she's a new character, so they've only spent the past 2 years trying to build a green digital model of her face where they have 12 years of Mark Ruffalo's face. They can,
I don't know. It kind of gets to me like, what was it? What was the last one? Infinity War.
Endgame was the last one.
Yeah, so Infinity War, maybe it was Endgame they did it, where they made Hulk into just a regular guy almost.
Smart Hulk.
Yeah.
He took the personality of Bruce Banner and merged it with the...
I didn't enjoy that.
Oh, well, he's like that in this show as well. But if you're a big Marvel nerd like me, you know about potential movies that are coming out and things that Marvel has.
So is that part of the comic book?
Smart Hulk is a part of the comic books. Yep, he had his own little run. But also, what they're doing with She-Hulk now is they're setting up a World War Hulk movie, which I believe is coming in the next 3 years. And basically, my theory is that he's going to ditch the Smart Hulk thing. He's going to go back to being a berserker rage monster with no personality.
So if this one's labeled as Smart Hulk, what's the other one labeled as?
Just Hulk.
Oh,
yep. And
I was going to be like, Idiot Hulk.
Well, there's it's funny you say that in the show they make fun of that. They make fun of the Smart Hulk thing, but it's a good show. Check it out. I'm one of those obnoxious Marvel fans. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like goes to every opening premiere by myself. We'll see the newest movie.
Do you dress up in character?
No, I don't.
Please say you do.
I'll wear an appropriate T-shirt.
If you did dress up in character, who would it be?
Spider-Man.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Cover up that blonde hair and all those wonderful tattoos.
I would maybe be like a maskless Spider-Man. But yeah, I mean, Spidey's the OG.
Spider-Man with like the sleeves cut out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Like, wow, Spider-Man's got some shitty tattoos.
Man, Spider-Man's life just gone to
What
shit.
drugs is Spider-Man?
Man, he looks like he's going through some
Looks
things.
like Aaron Carter.
He does.
You seen Aaron Carter lately? Although props to Aaron Carter, he's apparently 7 months or 8 months sober. My wife still keeps up with Aaron Carter for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't he like a douche?
He has been a serious drug addict for the past 10 years, 15 years.
See, like I don't.
But he's also got crazy face tattoos and shit now too.
I remember him because that was like, say, when I was in my 20s and stuff.
Yeah.
But as far as pop culture, I don't keep up with anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep up with a good amount. I don't know why. I always have. I'm one of those fucking weirdos.
Would you be good at like pop trivia?
Yeah.
Like if you had to do it the early 2000s or 90s, I'd smoke it. But
yeah.
Now,
I'd say
no shit.
I say early. It's funny you say that. Actually, I've been playing this song all freaking week at work. YouTube's gonna probably blur it out if I actually play it, but it's that song "Torn" by Natalie Imbruglia. Nothing's right on torn.
Yeah. I saw her in concert.
Really?
Yeah. And it's not like I was like, hey, we got to go see Natalie or anything. Yeah. She was playing a festival.
I would.
Yeah, you would. That's the difference between you and
Natalie, Vanessa Carlton. If there was like a freaking mega concert going on with those girls, whew,
yeah.
I'm there.
No, I didn't. The only girl concert that I've ever went to, like I was like, hey, I'm going to go see that, was Veruca Salt.
Willy Wonka.
Well, that's what the band was named after.
Yeah.
But also Bush was with them too, so that was cool.
Cool.
But yeah, Natalie. What's her last name?
I think it's Imbruglia.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think you butchered it, but
something like
something like that.
But go ahead.
She was at a concert and it was crazy because like it was like all these 90s or early 2000s grunge was kind of fading out, but they were still like you had Incubus and that Limp Bizkit and there was another band that was like Incubus, but I can't remember. But it was Incubus was there and Pennywise, which God, I love Pennywise. Wow. But then they had her.
There you
I'm
go.
like, what is so awkward?
I would have loved that. That's fantastic.
I think, man, how they really broke it up.
My new favorite thing to do is when I pull up to work in the morning.
Yeah.
I get there at 5:30, and usually my opening coworkers walking in as I'm parking, and I park in front of the store.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have a random song blasting. It's 5:30 in the morning, downtown Chattanooga. I got all my windows down, blasting whatever song I'm listening to that morning. And I was listening to Torn by her the other morning, and my coworker comes in, she sticks her head in my car window, and she's like, what the hell are you listening to? I was like, you don't know this song? She's like, no, I've never heard this song in my life. And I keep like, and then the other coworkers come in a little later in the day, and I ask, like, you guys know this song? They're like, no. And then I remember they're all 19, 20, 21 years old. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm almost 30. Like there's a gap there.
Yeah.
There's a huge gap there. Like it doesn't seem like it's that huge, but there's a huge gap there.
I feel that way sometime with you and I. Now you have like a huge musical background, so I think you know more than other people your age.
Yeah.
But like, say that song that I sent you yesterday. Have you ever heard that?
I have. Once I listened to it, I'm like, oh, I know.
Whenever you said "Coming Down the Mountain," that's when I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
it just came in my head.
It's my favorite thing to say because now I come down a mountain all the time.
Yeah.
Like up Massachusetts, I was nowhere near a mountain. Now I drive up here all the time. And I'm always
Really? Is it
coming
flat
down
in
a mountain.
Massachusetts?
It's not flat, but where I wasn't very mountainy. Wachusett Mountain was the closest one, about
Watusi?
Wachusett.
Wachusett.
Yeah. Wachusett Ski Resort. Every winter you'd hear their commercials. Wachusett.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Wachusett Mountain. And then they had Water Country.
Yeah.
You ever hear of Water Country?
No, sing it for me.
When the sun is blazing and the summer gets hot, Water Country's a very cool spot. There's no better place to feel and be young. Water Country, have some fun. It's great.
And I think we should end it there.
Thank you all for listening to the Have White Belt Will Travel podcast with Steve and Bobby.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I was going to say, well, this is episode 3, but
4.
maybe it's episode 1.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We're going to
what
release
episode we're
this
on right
one
now.
tomorrow, and it's the first one, so buckle up.
All right. See you guys next time.